Welcome to the Gospel Sleep, a peaceful corner made just for you. If your heart feels weary, if your thoughts won't quiet down, if you've been lying awake, trying to find peace, you've come to the right place. Tonight, let go of everything that burdens you. You don't need to be strong right now. You don't need to figure it all out. You only need to rest in God's presence. As you listen, imagine sitting beside a gentle fire under the night sky. The air is cool. The stars are bright. And the Word of God flows softly around you like the sound of a river. Each verse whispers truth into your heart. Be still, and know that I am God. Let those words wash over your thoughts and calm the storm within. Here, in this moment, God meets you right where you are in your exhaustion, in your fears, in your sleepless nights. He's not waiting for you to be perfect. He's simply inviting you to rest. Every video on this channel is created to help you find that sacred stillness to breathe, to reflect, and to fall asleep in peace. So whenever life feels overwhelming, open godly sleep and let the spirit of calm surround you. If you haven't already, please subscribe and be part of our loving community of believers who rest together in His Word each night. Share these moments with others who might need peace too. Together, we can create a haven of calm where everyone is reminded you are loved. You are safe, and God is near. Now, take one more deep breath, exhale, and rest. You're exactly where you're meant to be in the gentle arms of peace. I come to your window of evening with a soft step. The day has closed its shutters. The quiet between heartbeats grows wider. I bring a calm voice. I bring a Bible laid open like a lamp. My hands rest on its cover. My breath matches the slow pulse that lives in the dark. Let us make room for rest. Let the shoulders fold down. Let the jaw unclench. Notice the weight of blankets. Notice the cool air on the face. Breathe in slowly. Hold for a small, gentle count. Exhale and let the world fall a little further away. Each breath is a boat on calm water. Each sigh is a tiny mooring rope pulled into place. Open more than the eyes. Open the heart. This is an invitation. No demand comes with it. No list of rules. Just a plain asking, will you let these words come close tonight? Will you allow the pages of an old, familiar book to speak in a voice that soothes? That is all. A simple yes, or even a quiet not knowing, is enough. I speak in the first person because I am the one who will read. I will read with a steady rhythm. The reading will not rush. The pace will be like someone stepping down a gentle hill. The aim is rest. The aim is mercy. The aim is hope warmed, like bread. Picture a small room in the mind. A single candle burns there. The flame moves without hurry. Shadows lie soft on the walls. Outside, a distant city hums and then fades. Inside, a calm settles. The Bible sits near the candle. Its pages are not sharp in the light. They are ready to offer a quiet that reaches right to the ribs. Let the mind accept that image. Let the image steady whatever tremor lingers. This time is not a debate. It is not a lecture. Heavy words and sharp answers are left at the doorway. The voice you hear by your ear tonight is careful. It chooses words that hug and do not prod. It carries hope more than argument. It offers mercy rather than judgment. That is the shape of the reading to come. If worries press like a stack of papers, set them down. Imagine folding each concern into a small square and placing it on a table. They remain there. They are not taken into the reading. If sleep will not find you, that is allowed. If tears are near the surface, let them fall into a basin where they are noticed but not shamed. The Bible's words will meet those tears with quiet hands. Think of the Bible as an old friend who knows the path home. The friend speaks without hurry. The voice recognizes what has happened. It offers rest by saying what is true in the simplest terms. When the voice describes a shelter, picture a place with sturdy beams. When it speaks of mercy, imagine a clean bowl of water and a towel. When it promises hope, feel the warmth of a fire across a cold stone floor. These are small images. They are for listening, not for solving. Allow the body to sink more into its bed. Feel how the mattress holds. Let the legs melt into comfort. If lying is not possible, sit with the back supported. Cradle the hands on the lap. Uncross the knees. Give the head a small nod toward surrender. The eyes can close now. If they remain open, do not fret. Watching the candle flame in the mind is another form of closing the day. The voice will pay attention to rhythm. Long breaths will be spaced with shorter ones. Pauses will come like rest stops on a road. You may find your breathing slow in time. With the words, that is gentle work. It is the crafting of tiredness. Into quiet, there is no hurry. There is only this steady moving toward peace. I will read passages that bring comfort. They will speak of a guiding presence, of steady hands, of quiet waters. They will not present puzzles. They will be chosen for calm. Each passage will sit, and then I will let it breathe. There will be space after the words fall away. Do not feel obliged to fill that space. Let it be a pillow for what has been heard. If the mind wanders, return without reproach. Thoughts will drift to tomorrow's list, or to a small annoyance that will not let go. Bring them back like a child who has run onto the street. Take the thought's small hand. Walk it back to the bedside. Lay it on the table of worries. Offer it to the candlelight. Most thoughts do not require action now. Most can be folded into the quiet. Tonight's reading brings mercy more than instruction. It offers assurance more than explanations. Mercy rests like a soft shawl across shoulders that have carried much. Assurance comes as a steady voice that does not demand proof. Hope arrives not as a blazing announcement, but as a small lantern set at the foot of the bed. These treasures are simple. They are enough for the night. Do not expect a sudden cure of all unrest. Night work is slow. It unwraps tension piece by piece. The voice will speak. The listening will answer by loosening. There is no failing here if sleep does not come fully. Presence itself is a kind of rest. Lying quietly while the Bible is read is a way of being held. Imagine the words as hands laid gently on the brow. They do not take, only soothe. If guilt presses, let the voice put no weight upon it. If fear arrives, let it be met with a description of steadiness. If loneliness sits at the pillow, picture a companion who does not need to speak much to be fully near. These are the ways the words will work. They do not fix everything. They remind. I will use a soft cadence. Syllables will melt into each other gently. Sentences will be short and clear. The goal is listening, not analysis. Let the mind become like still water. When a breeze passes over it, arrippelukush. But the underlying water stays. The reading will aim to be that breeze that smooths the surface. If sleep comes, it can come in the middle of a sentence. That is fine. Rest does not require witnessing every line. If wakefulness remains, stay with the sounds. Allow them to wash over the room. The voice is patient. Its tone stays the same, whether eyes are open or closed. Before the reading begins, take one small ritual. Place a hand beneath the blanket on the chest. Feel the heartbeat. Count 3 slow beats without naming them. That simple ceremony creates a boundary between the world and this time. It says now we enter a different place. This place listens to quiet, honors small mercies, and keeps hope alive like a tiny ember. The Bible will be read in a way that lets room be made for each sentence. There will be pauses that let the heart absorb what it hears. The reading will not be rushed to fit a schedule. It moves with the night's pace. The voice knows the slow work of lowering the shoulders. The voice knows the art of speaking, as if laying a blanket over someone who is cold. Tonight, keep expectation gentle. Expect rest. Yes, expect mercy. Yes, expect simple truths that ease the mind. Do not expect philosophical debates or proof for every worry. This hour belongs to healing, not to argument. It is a time for reassurance that something steady exists when the world feels uncertain. For those who come with heavy hands, bring them as they are. For those whose minds are busy, bring that busyness too. Nothing is too much or too small to be placed before these words. Each offering is met without scorn. Each need is touched with a calm answer. The Bible in this voice is like a garden planted at the edge of a long road. It offers shade and a place to sit. No question is required to sit there. If sleep arrives, let it take you with no guilt. Sleep is not a failure of faith. It is a mercy. The words remain even when the eyes close. Dreams can be a continuation of this gentle care. If sleep does not come, the reading will continue until the natural hush of night deepens. Time is not counted by minutes alone here. It is counted by the settling of the heart. Listen for the soft lines that speak of kindness. Listen for phrases that describe rest. Let the voice linger on images that feel like home. Home might be a warm room. It might be a steady path. It might be a hand that does not let go. Hold those images gently. Let them warm the edges of the night. As the first passage is near, steady the breath once more. Bring attention to the small point between the eyes. Breathe into that point as if filling a small lantern. Feel it glow a little brighter with each intake. With each release, let a worry unwind. This little ritual readies the ear to receive. I will begin soon. This invitation is the doorway. Step through without pressure. Sit down on the doorstep and breathe. If stepping in feels too much, remain where you are and let the door open for you. The voice is steady. The book is open. Mercy waits in simple words. Hope sits by the candle and hums softly. When you are ready, let the body still. Let the hands rest. Let the head be soft. Close the eyes if that helps. If not, look at the imagined candle and watch it move without hurry. Allow the first line to enter, like rain falling on a quiet roof. I will read. The tone will be calm. The pace will be slow. The aim is restful to soothe, to assure, to bring a small, steady hope. This is the opening. The door is open. The lamp burns. The Bible is ready. Your heart may answer with a small nod or with nothing at all. Either way, the voice will continue. The reading will move like a slow river toward evening. Let it carry a small part of your burden away. When the words come, let them land where they need to. I will be here. I will read with a soft, steady voice. I will not hurry. I settle deeper into the quiet. After that first invitation, the room holds its own breath. The candle keeps a small flame. My book rests on my lap. I feel the slow rhythm of the night. I am here to read. My hands are steady. My voice stays low. Before I speak another line from the scriptures, a small note to those who listen more than once. Finding a place of spiritual solace matters. It is a soft work. It does not fix everything at once. It gives a steady horizon. If these nights ease you, consider coming back. A simple subscription keeps the door open between us. A brief comment lets me know how the words land. Sharing this time with another person builds a quiet community. These actions are small. They help us gather again and again. They shape a place where mercy keeps being spoken. Now I set the scene in a particular way. I think of the old first chapter of the book. I do not quote. I paraphrase its feeling. I picture the maker stepping back to look. He watches what the hands have done. He sees light and dark, the sweep of sky, the curve of waters, the green of living things. Each element finds its place. There is a settling, a deep, satisfied breath. The work is finished, and it is good. That goodness is not loud. It is not a trumpet in the night. It is a quiet evaluation. It is like a gardener looking at rows of seedlings and noticing how they stand. It is like a potter lifting a vessel and feeling its balance. In that quiet, I find space to rest. I let that image sit between me and the candle. It is steadying. Imagine for a moment that gaze moving over you, not in the sense of inspection, more like a hand passing over a shoulder, acknowledging the day's weight and saying, "It is enough for tonight." The world and its maker do not demand more right now. This is a night of gathering, not of proving. Let that thought be soft. The room in the mind holds a low lamp. Shadows fall like soft cloth. I tell you to notice the small textures, the sound of a clock far away, the tiny creak in the house, a moth against a window. These are close and ordinary things. They keep us humble. They make rest plausible. As I set the Bible beside the light, I imagine that original completion as a kind of blanket. It covers land and sea. It drapes over tired hands. The blanket is not flashy. It is warm and steady. It tells us that things can end well enough to be called good. This is a small theology of comfort. It is meant to calm the body and hush the mind. Breathe now with me. A slow breath in. Feel the chest move like the tide edging in. Hold for a gentle second. Let it go like a tide rolling back. Short breaths follow. Let them come. The pattern is simple. It is like tending a fire, stoking, then waiting as the coals glow. Breathing in this way brings the heart into the same tempo as the words you will hear. I speak about mercy next. Mercy is the soft answer in the night. It is not a list of requirements. It is a bowl of water wiped across a brow. It is the hand that steadies without speaking. When creation is called good, mercy is part of that goodness. Mercy allows things to exist with faults and still be loved. Mercy makes room for sleep to come without guilt. Let your thoughts collect like fallen leaves. Lay them in a small corner of the mind. Do not chase them. Let them lie. If one insists on attention, fold it gently into an imagined basket set by the bedside. This small practice keeps the room uncluttered. An uncluttered room is easier to leave for sleep. I encourage a slow focus on sight. Imagine light moving across a plain. It stops at a tree. The tree is unremarkable, yet whole. Leaves hold you. Each branch does not need to be perfect. The tree is enough. You are enough for now. This image eases the demand to perform. It invites you to be accepted as you lie still. Sound also guides the rest. There is the hush of pages I will soon turn. There is the whisper of breath. There is the distant life beyond the window. These sounds are companions, not intruders. Let them be the kind of music that allows eyelids to fold. If you are tempted to measure this time by results, soften that urge. Results are for daylight. Tonight belongs to presence. Presence is quiet and patient. It knows that the smallest kindnesses can do more overnight than a grand gesture. Presence is the voice I bring. It reads, but it also listens to the small pauses. I will soon read a portion that speaks of seeing what has been made and finding it good. I do not rush to the text. I let the meaning land first. It says that completion includes a blessing. That blessing is rest. It is the permission to stop and to accept what exists. I invite that permission into your room now. Let a single image carry you the Maker, looking over his work and smiling inwardly. The smile is not loud. It is like a soft light settling in a window. It warms the glass. It warms the inside. If you are cold, imagine that warmth crossing the gap to your shoulder. It does not burn. It soothes. Community matters in this gentle practice. Knowing others sit and listen on other nights changes the feel of solitude. A shared silence can feel less empty. If this reading helps, share the link with a friend who might need this same calm. Leave a short note about how the words touched you. These small acts stitch a web of quiet people who can come back together. They make the night less lonely. I keep my sentences plain. They carry thin threads of thought meant for ears that drift. No heavy arguments come. No complex theology presses. The aim is immediate gentleness. The voice is steady like rounding a corner of a familiar garden. The path is well worn. Now, imagine the completed day folding up like a cloth. Its edges meet. The Maker rests. He blesses what is finished with a soft word that we carry as permission. Permission to sleep. Permission to let the mind stop tallying wins and losses. Permission to be exactly where you are. If a worry arrives while you listen, treat it like a small boat on a wide lake. It drifts. Watch it without fear. Allow it to move away. If another worry draws near, hand it a small lantern and tell it there is time for climbing tomorrow. The night keeps its own counsel. For anyone who wonders how the Bible meets the small pains of life, this is the place to see it. It meets them not with lecture. It meets them with steady images, with promises of closeness, with simple assurances that hold without demanding. The night needs no long explanations. It needs a warm presence. I remind you once more about the community. Subscribing is a gentle step. It is like marking the path home. Leaving a comment is a small hello at the gate. Sharing is like inviting a neighbor to sit by the lamp. None of these are required. They are offered as ways to keep this room open for others. Now the room grows quieter still. The candle shortens. The book breathes. I prepare to read the chosen passage in a slow cadence. I will not quote the ancient line by line. I will let its voice come through in plain, calm words. Each phrase will rest before the next appears. Each image will hang like a curtain between the world and sleep. If eyes close in the middle of a sentence, that is welcome. Rest can arrive like a soft umbrella opening. If eyes stay open, let them soften as if looking at a night sky with few stars. Both ways are good. Both ways are held. Before I begin, place a hand upon the chest again. Feel the rise. Feel the fall. Let that be a small anchor. Think of the Maker's gaze as that anchor, gentle and steady, not searching for fault but recognizing completion. Let my voice be the small rope that ties you to that anchor, so you do not drift too far from peace. I will read now. The pace will be slow. The words will lean into silence. Let them settle where they best fit. Tonight's goal is rest, soft mercy, and a quiet hope. These things can keep you through the dark until morning. When the reading ends for this part, I will pause longer than usual. I create space for the images to set. I do this because silence is a kind of answer. It allows the night to take what has been spoken and make it its own. Let the candle burn a little lower. Let the breath find its deep place. I begin the passage with a calm heart and a simple request. Accept the peace offered. Accept the small verdict of goodness. Sleep into that verdict if it wishes to come. If not, remain in the company of the words. The night holds you. The world made good rests with you. I read now, slowly, so the night can listen. I lift the lamp a little closer. The pages make a soft whisper as they turn. The phrase I will speak tonight comes from a quiet place in the Gospels. It points to a simple turning forgive. And you are opened to be forgiven. I do not press for argument. I speak this as a practice for the heart that must rest. Forgiveness is not a performance. It is not a checklist to finish before sleep. It is a small work of letting go. Imagine carrying a pocket full of smooth stones. Each one is a hurt, an unpaid debt, a remembered insult. They press against the hip. They weigh the steps. The night asks for lighter hands. Hear the passage this way. Mercy moves in both directions. Mercy that is given outward reaches back when someone is let go in the heart. A space opens where mercy can come in. The text links the two gently. It shows a path where the act of loosening toward another becomes a pathway for receiving loosened chains oneself. Take a slow breath. Place a palm over the place where the heart rests. Notice the ribcage rise. Notice how some tension holds there like a small stone. Breathe in, naming the tightness without argument. Breathe out. And imagine setting that stone on the bedside table. You do not throw it into the dark. You set it down. The act is quiet. It is a hand passing something across a table. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting. It does not demand pretending nothing happened. It means rearranging the energy you give to the memory. Instead of replaying a hurt, like a song that keeps repeating, you allow it to play once, and then you close the record. The memory remains like a picture on the wall. It is seen. It no longer controls the room. If a name rises now, let it come. Picture the person at a distance. See them shaped by light, not by accusation. Speak their name in your mind once, without an inner debate. Offer them this small sentence: I let you go tonight. This is not a verdict. It is a breathwork. It is a moving of air through a closed place. Sometimes the hardest forgiveness is for oneself. Guilt is a steady companion that will keep the body awake. Self-accusation tightens the jaw. It makes the shoulders refuse to sink. To forgive yourself is to place a towel over a soiled hand and say, this will be cleaned in time. It is a mercy for the tired. It turns a harsh inner voice into a kinder whisper. I will read a brief paraphrase of the teaching. Now, it says that when mercy is measured out to others, the same measure can be turned toward you. The wording in the Gospel paints it plainly. Holding on to another's wrong tightens the hands that might have offered mercy to you. Release becomes an open door. Receive becomes possible when the hand is empty enough to take it. Do not imagine this as a quick fix or a test to pass. It is a habit you practice. The night is a good time to rehearse it, because the world quiets and the small things stand tall. By practicing letting go in the dark, you teach the day how to move differently. Repetition does not dull the care. It makes the hands steady. Let us practice together now. Keep the hand on the chest. Breathe in gently for a slow count of 3. Hold for a soft second. Breathe out for the same 3. On the next in-breath, name a small wound. Say it in your mind with no color of blame. On the out-breath, picture a small boat on a river. Place the named wound into the boat. Watch the boat carry it away. Do this for 3 small things. Each time, feel the chest lighten a little. Forgiveness can also be an act of boundary. To release the hurt in your heart does not always mean returning to the place that caused it. It can mean stepping away while you still care for your own safety. Imagine a bedside lamp between you and what hurt you. The lamp casts enough light to see but not to invite any nearer danger. Mercy can be offered at a distance. This keeps the soul steady. When old grievances hover like moths around the lamp, do not chase them. Acknowledge the flutter. Offer a short line of mercy. Fold the thought like a handkerchief and place it in a small drawer. Close the drawer without slamming it. The drawer can be opened tomorrow if necessary. Tonight it remains restful. I remind you of the simple truth that mercy is not scarce. The text suggests a rhythm more than a rule. It invites a life where kindness travels back and forth like a quiet tide. This rhythm is not the work of heroic feats. It is small actions collected. A small letting go each night can change how the day greets you. If resisting forgiveness feels necessary as a guard, name that too. Say, I will tend the wound carefully. I will keep watch. Then add, I will not carry this stone tonight. This two-part sentence holds both prudence and mercy. It keeps the heart safe and free to sleep. Imagine the Maker's presence as a soft light standing in the doorway. The light does not demand explanations. It holds a basin of warm water. Into the water you can place your hands. The act is simple. The hands are rinsed. The basin does not erase the day's marks, but it softens them. The Gospel's link between giving and receiving mercy is like that basin. You place something into it and water returns to you. The returning is not a bargain. It is a restoration. Now return to breath. Let each out-breath loosen a little more of the jaw. Let shoulders drop toward the mattress. If sleep rises before the practice ends, that is welcome. Mercy does not require vigilance until morning. If wakefulness remains, continue to place stones in that imagined boat. Keep watching them slide into the dark water. Let the sound of the river in your mind become steady and small. For those who carry great wrongs, know that forgiveness can be gradual. You may begin with smaller hurts. Let the practice grow like a tiny fire, tended carefully each night. Some wounds may need time and counsel. This exercise is a first night's offering, not a full reckoning. It is a way to stop the stream of resentment that keeps the mind awake. Listen now, as I rest the book on my knee. My voice will be softer. The candle leans. The room breathes with us. The teaching about mercy is not used as a rod. It is a gentle map. Follow it when you can. Leave it when you must. Mercy reaches toward you, even in its uneven practice. The promise it carries is plain openness begets openness. Softness begets softness. Before I fall silent for a longer while, take one more simple act. Fold both hands together lightly. Imagine the fingers as the lips of a small bird. If you loosen the fingers, the bird may fly. If you keep them tight, the bird remains. Let the fingers part just enough to let mercy out. Do not strain. Let it be easy. I will pause now and let the image settle. The silence is not empty. It is a place where the work you started can continue quietly. Let the breath be the metronome. Let forgiveness be the small ceremony of the night. Sleep, if it wishes, can come with these stones left on the bedside table. When the pause ends, I will move gently into the next passage. For now, rest in the thought that mercy is both the gift you offer and the gift you receive. Let that double movement soften the ribs. Let the body settle. Let the mind go still. The night holds you in its soft palms. I remain here to read, to breathe with you, and to leave a space for peace to come. I fold the idea of forgiveness into the quiet. I leave the stones on the table. I let the basin hold the water. A new, gentle instruction waits. Tucked in the next passage I will read. It comes from a psalm. The psalm invites stillness. It asks the heart to know, not to argue. I speak with a slow cadence now. The room breathes with us. The candle's glow loosens the edges of things. I hold the open book, and I let the page rest like a small plank across a river. The voice that comes from it is calm. It says that being still is not idle. It is a way to meet presence. Take a breath with me. Inhale quietly. Count slowly to 2 if that helps. Hold for a small beat. Exhale and soften. Each breath becomes a bell that calls attention inward. The psalm's call to stillness is like that breath. It does not demand performance. It asks for a pause. It invites recognition. I paraphrase gently. The ancient line tells us to stop our hurry. It asks us to stop our striving and let there be space for a deeper noticing. It names a place where the world's clatter quiets and a steady presence can be felt. That place is not distant. It is near to the bones. It stands at the edge of breath. Let your body become a room with a single door. Close the door for a time. The outside remains. It is not ignored. It is simply held at the threshold. Inside, the air is cooler. The lamp is low. The presence I describe is like a friend who sits without needing to speak. The friend's attention is enough. I ask you to feel the weight of the blanket. Feel how it rests like a soft hand. Feel the pillow supporting the neck. Let the small muscles around the shoulders release. If the jaw has not unclenched, soften it now. These are not grand movements. They are gentle corrections so the body can receive the quiet. Hear the words again as an invitation, not a command. To be still is not to make yourself small in fear. It is to allow space for something steady to settle beside you. The psalm points to a presence that is both near and larger than the small lights of worry. Imagine that presence like a slow tide. It moves without hurry. It reaches the shore and then rests. I often picture presence as a very old tree. The tree stands in a meadow. Roots go deep in the earth. Wind passes through the branches. The tree does not chase the wind. It simply lets the wind move through it. From this image, notice a truth presence does not need your clever words. It simply exists. You can lean into that existence. If a thought insists on movement, watch it like a cloud passing across the tree. Name it without argument. Say to it, "Not now. Friend, this moment is for listening." Then let the cloud drift. The practice is not rigid. It is tender. It allows the mind to return without scolding. I remind you that knowing a presence is not the same as having all answers. It does not demand solutions. It offers comfort. It gives a kind of steadying that the day often lacks. Tonight, the psalm invites us to rest in that steadiness. It asks us to trust something that outlasts the night. Place one hand over the heart again. Feel the small rise and fall. This is a sign of life that does not need proof. It continues whether the mind is busy or calm. Let that rhythm be a metronome for the quiet. Match your breathing to it. Inhale as the chest lifts. Exhale as it falls. Do this for 3 slow counts. I hold the book, and I do not rush the lines. I pause between images. I let silence hold the shapes the words make. Silence is not empty here. It is a living thing. It carries what has been said. It expands the space where presence can be known. Imagine a lamp set on a table beside you. The lamp is small, but it offers enough warmth to notice. The presence stands quietly at that lamp, neither imposing nor distant. It simply keeps watch. It says nothing loud. It says enough to let the heart relax. That is the picture the psalm brings. I lay it out so the ears can find it easily. If worry pushes like a small animal against the chest, notice the pushing without panic. Speak to it in a short sentence inside the mind. I will hold this later. For now, I breathe. This small rule creates a boundary that the night can honor. It asks the mind to wait at the door for morning. I often find that presence arrives in small ways. It may be a memory of a hand held. It may be a remembered kindness that warms the edges of the night. It may be the sense of being seen without having to explain anything. These small tokens are enough to begin. They build a bridge that the heart can cross slowly. The psalm's encouragement to be still may feel odd at first. We are trained to act and fix and explain. Stillness asks a different muscle. It asks for surrender in small doses. Practicing this surrender in the dark trains the day to be gentler. Small acts repeated at night change the waking hours by degrees. I invite a brief exercise. Close the eyes if that helps. Picture a single candle in a wide room. The candle does not try to light every corner. It simply burns where it is. Focus on the warmth near the wick. Imagine that warmth moving along the sternum, softening the ribs as it goes. Track the warmth as it passes down the arms and into the fingers. Let the limbs go slack. This is slow work. It is careful. Presence sometimes appears as silence between rhythms. Think of the space between heartbeats. That space is not empty. It is home to the quiet. Rest there for a moment. Do not push to fill it with words. Let it be like a room that you enter and sit in. Feel the cushion of time beneath you. If doubt arrives about the practice or about the presence itself, name it gently. Say to the doubt, I see you. You are allowed to stay. Then return to the breath. Presence does not erase doubt. It reorders it. It places the doubt where it can be held, not where it can rule. I speak now of trust. Trust in this moment is small. It is not a leap into the unknown. It is a slow step toward a chair in a dim room. You do not have to run to it. Walk slowly. Lower yourself. Let the back meet the support. Feel the shoulders relax onto the chair as if they belong there. That is trust in practice. The psalm points also to knowledge. To know, in this sense, is to feel the facts of presence in the bones. It is not intellectual mastery. It is awareness. It is the sense of not being alone. Close the eyes and see the hand of presence resting lightly on the shoulder. It is not a heavy grip. It does not demand explanation. It simply steadies. I read slowly again and let the line resonate. The invitation to be still and to know becomes an action of the night. It is a moment where the mind stops counting losses and starts listening. It lets mercy do its work. It opens the chest for rest. If sleep comes before the end of these lines, that is a good gift. Sleep does not mean you missed the point. Sleeping with these words in the ears is a way of letting them live in the dream. If wakefulness remains, stay with the presence as with a calm companion. You need not perform. You may simply sit. I will guide 2 more simple acts before I pause. First, let the breath lengthen by a small amount. Inhale for a steady 3. Hold for a soft beat. Exhale for a slow 3. Repeat twice. Second, imagine a harbor dusk, boats tied to the docks. The ocean is not rough. The boats rock gently. Each worry is like a small boat finding its berth. Watch the boats settle. Let the harbor hold them. The image soothes the mind. Presence can be quieter than thought. It can be found in the pause that follows a sentence. Let my silence now be that pause. Let it become a place where the presence you sought can be felt. Breathe. Feel the slow steadiness at the center of the chest. Know, in the way the psalm suggests, that a greater steadiness stands near. When I come back to speak again, I will move slowly into another piece of the evening. For now, stay folded in the quiet if you like. If you choose to drift into sleep, go gently. If you remain awake, rest in the idea that stillness is a practice that welcomes you without judgment. Presence awaits in the hush. I lower my voice, and I let the silence do its work. The candle leans. The room listens. I am here, reading softly for you. This time is held with care. The psalm's simple call to be still moves now from page into the quiet around us. Let it hold you until the next breath leads into the next part of the night. I lift the book again and let the next quiet thought find us. The page rests like a small bridge. My voice moves over it with care. Tonight, I read not to solve, but to remind. One line in the old writing says that kindness does not run out. It is repeated in a soft promise. Mercy comes morning after morning. Faithfulness meets the day like dawn. I say this so the ear can hold the shape of it without debate. This is a comfort for the night. Begin by closing the eyes if that helps. Feel the weight of the blankets. Notice the way the covers shape against the chest. The body knows 1,000 small rhythms. Each one is a token of routine grace, a steady beat, warmth at the feet, the breath that comes without asking. Small things often carry the largest mercies. Think of the morning you woke from a heavy dream. The sun found the curtains in a slow, certain way. Light crossed the floor and lifted a corner of the room. That light did not arrive as an argument. It came as a gift. It was a signal that a new day waited with new chances. The ancient line I hold tonight calls attention to that renewing gift. It says mercy appears again. It says faithfulness rises like a dependable sun. I do not ask for a chorus of gratitude. I only invite attention. Start small. Name one thing that returned for you today or yesterday. The clean smell after rain, a cup of warm drink, a kind voice on the phone, the way a window closed softly. These are routine blessings. They repeat. That repetition is mercy. It turns ordinary mornings into a steady hand on the shoulder. Breath with me now. Inhale slowly. Let the ribs expand. Hold without pushing. Exhale and let the shoulders lower. Repeat. Each breath is itself a returning gift. It does not need earning. It arrives again and again. That pattern is like the promise the text gives. Mercy is not a single eruption. It is a noiseless stream that keeps coming. Routine is not the enemy of wonder. It is the frame that lets wonder live. Think of wearing the same jacket through many walks. The jacket becomes a friend. It fits. It protects. The first time you put it on, it feels new. After a while, it simply does its job. The daily mercies are like that jacket. They are familiar, but they are not empty. Their steadiness is grace. Some blessings are visible, some are hidden. The ache in a healed scar is a mercy that says repair is possible. The quiet stomach that slept through the night is a mercy. The phone call that never came is sometimes a mercy. Notices arrive in small forms. The evening asks that these be seen. Seeing them unhooks a tightness in the chest. If the mind resists counting blessings, let the act be gentle. Do not force a list. Instead, breathe and name only what surfaces easily. If nothing surfaces, allow a single breath to count as a gift. Let that breath be enough tonight. The practice is not audit. It is a soft opening of eyes toward what remains. The text I keep nearby paints the pattern as new every morning. Imagine dew en grâce. Each morning the blades collect a fresh bead. The bead is not the same as yesterday's. It is new. The world does not need to manufacture mercy as if it were scarce. It offers it again. That renewing is quiet and patient. It does not clamor for attention. It waits at the edge of sleep and waking. Place a hand on the chest. Feel the slow lift and fall. Picture mercy like a small lamp held there. It is not bright enough to blind. It is warm enough to soothe. The hand is a way to keep watch. When worry presses, return the hand to that lamp. Let its warmth remind you of the steady promise. Routine blessings include things that go unnoticed until they are absent. Warm water in the sink. A hinge that does not creak. Food on a table. A pulse that stays even. They are small repairs the world performs for us. They are not flashy. They are faithful. The day opens because these small things function. That functioning is grace. I read the text to remind us that faithfulness exists across days. It is not a single great event and then absence. It is a rhythm. Picture a metronome on a shelf. It ticks. Each tick is a mercy that returns. The pattern does not need to surprise to be meaningful. Its steady ticking makes a home. If this faithfulness feels remote, bring it near with specifics. Think of someone who loved you in a small, repeated way. A neighbor who brings newspapers. A friend who texts the simple word, "How are you?" The gestures are modest. Their modesty is precisely the point. They form a scaffold on which trust can rest. I avoid theology heavy enough to weigh the rest. Mercy in this hour is tenderness more than doctrine. It is a cushion beneath the jaw of anxiety. It is the hand that steadies during a moment of confusion. It is the promise that something good keeps returning, even when the mind expects the opposite. Routine blessings can be spiritual practices too. Waking to a breath, washing the face, folding laundry. Each act repeated is a tiny liturgy. Performing it with attention can turn simple chores into prayer. A cloth wiped across a table becomes an offering of care. A slow walk around the block becomes a pilgrimage of ordinary things. The body finds rest in these small disciplines. Imagine the morning that follows tonight, not as a demand, but as a possibility. Mercy waits there in the small, ready gestures of the day. The text says it is renewed. Visualize dawn like a hand opening. You do not need to prove the hand kind. You only need to reach out and take it when you are ready. For those who fear that routine means boredom, note, this repetition can deepen appreciation. The first taste of bread is new. The 100th is not less. It may be wiser. The eyes learn to see subtle flavors. The heart learns to be grateful without fireworks. A life formed by small mercies is a life settled into a true home. If worry interrupts, do not shame it. Name it briefly in your mind. Let it stand on the edge of the room. Offer it a chair. Tell it that the night will attend to it in time. Then return to the gentle noticing of routine blessings. This is not denial. It is triage. The present moment holds what it can hold. The promise of mercy, morning after morning, also carries hope. Hope in this frame is not a promise that all pain will vanish. It is assurance that the day will bring new chances to be met with kindness. It is like a musician tuning an instrument each morning before a concert. The tuning does not erase past notes, but it readies the strings to sing again. I speak now of Christ as a quiet presence in this promise, not as an argument, but as a companion who embodies faithfulness. The image is not ornate. It is simple, a steady hand that returns at dawn and again at night. That returning is mercy put into human shape. It keeps watch in routine and in surprise. To bring this home, try a short exercise. Breathe in slowly as the air fills the chest. Name a small blessing in a single word. Breathe out and rest on that word like a soft pillow. Repeat 3 times. Each repetition sets one more pebble into place. The path becomes firmer. Let the imagination rest on a morning habit made holy by attention. The cup of tea lifted with quiet gratitude. The window open to a cool breath. The shoes set side by side at the door. These small scenes are not insignificant. Each one carries mercy as ordinary as a seed and as patient as soil. If resistance persists, consider kindness in the smallest form. Mercy can look like a pause taken before speaking, It can look like leaving a light on for someone who returns late. These are the unremarked acts that form a life. They are the daily echoes of the promise I read tonight. I will close this section by shaping a small ritual for the night. Place both hands on the belly. Breathe in a slow 3 counts. Hold for 1 gentle beat. Breathe out, imagining the breath carrying a word mercy. Do this 3 times. Let each repetition sit like a stone, placed carefully in a quiet pond. Watch the ripples settle. The night has its own rhythm. Routine blessings are the steady drumbeat beneath it. They do not demand spectacle. They offer steadiness. Let that steadiness be enough to soothe the nerves. Let it be a small fortress in which sleep can come. I set the book down with care. The candle leans. The room listens. The promise that mercy appears new each morning remains as a quiet assurance. Rest into that assurance. If sleep comes, let it cradle this thought. If wakefulness stays, return to the breath and the small items of grace in your room. I will pause now and leave the space open. When the next part arrives, the voice will return with another gentle passage. For tonight, accept the routine kindnesses. Let them stand at the margins of your dreams. Know that morning after morning, mercies renew the world. Let that renew you as well. I lift the book and rest it on my knees. The lamp keeps its slow glow. The room breathes with me. I will read a quiet line from the prophets. I do not read it loud. I let it come like a soft breeze. The line I hold speaks of waiting in a way that brings strength. It says that those who wait will find power renewed. It pictures wings in a high air. It imagines a running that does not tire and a walking that does not falter. I do not quote the words exactly. I speak their shape so the ear can receive them without strain. Waiting here does not mean doing nothing. It means staying near a source. It means placing the hands on the rail and allowing a current to lift you. Imagine an eagle on a cliff. It rests without fear. It watches the sky. When the wind comes, the bird opens its wings and rises. The bird does not flap wildly. It chooses the air and lets that air carry it. Strength returns by being placed in the right place. I invite a quiet practice. Find a position that supports the body. Keep a hand where it can feel its own warmth. Breathe softly. Notice the small movements of muscle. Notice how the breath moves the chest like a sail taking a small gust. This is the beginning of waiting that renews. Think of 3 small moments when energy came back to you in an unexpected way. A brief nap that made thinking clearer. A small word from a friend that eased a heavy knot. A walk on a cool evening that steadied the steps. Say each moment inside the mind with no hurry. Let them sit like coins placed in a palm. These are the places where strength has returned before. They are signs. The pattern is real. Now, picture the bird again, not as a symbol to admire from far off, but as a teacher near enough to learn from. It does not push. It does not strain. It waits where the air rises. The teaching is practical. Place yourself where grace can move. It might be a calm room. It might be a steady person's voice. It might be the plain rhythm of a prayer repeated slowly. The action is simple. Go where you can be lifted. Allow the breath to lengthen. Inhale for a slow count of 3. Hold for a soft beat. Exhale for a slow count of 3. As the breath leaves, imagine some small weight falling away. As the breath comes in, imagine wings unfolding lightly from the shoulders. Do this a few times. Sense the small freeing that comes with each cycle. Strength returns differently for different people. For some, it is an inward quiet that steadies decisions. For others, it is a fresh patience that makes the day easier. For still others, it is a courage to try again one more time. The text promises renewing. It does not promise a single grand solution. It promises a steady reclaiming of power over time. That steadiness is what I name tonight. Reflection helps the process. I ask a gentle question. Where do I notice the wind that can lift me? Not every spot will offer the same uplift. A narrow bed of wind can be enough. A corridor of a certain friendship may be the place. A habit of prayer or a walk at dusk may be the current. Identify one place, even if small. Name it to yourself now. Let gratitude soften the mind as you do this work. Gratitude here is not long lists or forced praise. It is a quiet noticing. A hot cup made when hands were tired. A moment of quiet in a busy day. A small success that did not require applause. Hold each small notice without weighing it. Let gratitude act like oil on a hinge. The door moves easier when it is remembered. There is a difference between fury and patience. Fury burns until it consumes the frame. Patience waits and lets power come back in the right measure. The passage suggests that waiting is active. It is a posture that trains the limbs for endurance. Imagine a runner who trains by quick steps and long, slow runs. The runner learns to keep a pace that lasts. So the promise of renewed strength is a training, not a one-time burst. I will guide another small exercise. Close the eyes if that feels comfortable. Picture a high cliff and an open sky. See the light that shifts along the rock face. Feel the wind there, not a violent gust, but a steady lift. Place your attention on the chest. Breathe in and imagine the lift moving up the spine. Breathe out and feel the shoulders settle a little lower. Repeat until the body feels less tight. When the mind searches for proof, offer it a small memory. A morning when waking felt lighter. A heel difficulty that used to steal the sleep. Proof can be simple. Keep it gentle. The aim is not to accumulate evidence like coins in a chest. The aim is to hold a few signs that the pattern of renewal is true. Those signs will support the heart when it doubts. The running that does not grow weary is a picture for the inner life. It means taking steps that can continue. It means choosing rhythms that match the body's capacity. If the day calls for sprinting, reserve a later part for rest. If the season demands only a walk, do not force a run. Wisdom shows itself in knowing when to lift the sail and when to row softly. Walking that does not faint is a different kind of promise. It speaks to a long path. It reminds me that some journeys require pace, not speed. A single steady step followed by another will cover distance. Encourage small habits that support this kind of walking. A short nightly prayer. A regular time to breathe and reflect. A habit of noting one gift each day. Small things, repeated quietly, form the long endurance. Solitude can be a partner in this work. It is not isolation. It is a chosen space where hearing becomes clearer. In quiet, the wind's patterns become easier to notice. In quiet, the inner compass aligns. I do not mean a harsh solitude that cuts away fellowship. I mean a restful solitude where the heart can hear what it needs. If this feels risky, begin with brief moments. A minute of silence while the kettle cools. A single slow breath at a crossing. Start there. Now I invite a short gratitude frame, tied to renewal. Think of one small mercy that supports strength. It might be sleep that finally arrived, after worry. It might be the hands that set a table. It might be the memory of a kind word. Say thank you silently for that mercy. Let thanks be a small door you open to allow more strength to pass through. Presence is a gentle idea here. Imagine a steady hand under the shoulder blade, not pressing, simply holding. That hand represents the unseen support that the text implies. It is not a critic. It is not a taskmaster. It is an assurance that someone watches over the path you walk. Let that image sit comfortably. Do not overwork it. Keep it like a lamp. You do not have to justify. If weariness presses, do a small physical check. Unclench the jaw. Soften the brow. Roll the shoulders slowly. Let the ankle relax. These tiny loosenings invite a return of energy. Strength often hides behind muscle, held tight by fear. Loosen the hold and something shifts. The body remembers how to be less burdened. Reflection can be recorded as a tiny journal note. No need for long pages. A single line, a small moment of lift today. This practice trains the memory to seek places of renewal. Over time, the list becomes a map. When fatigue returns, the map points to places that helped before. Do not mistake waiting for passivity. Active waiting involves listening, arranging the heart, positioning the body, and choosing rest. It is deliberate. It requires small choices. Where will attention go? What will be set down? Which habit will be taken up briefly? These decisions, made softly, change the likelihood of being lifted. I speak now of hope that is quiet. Hope in this frame is not a boisterous shout. It is a steady expectation. It is the small belief that the wind will sometimes come, and that when it does, the wings will work. Keep that hope like a candle in a window. It need not be large. Its light only needs to be enough to guide the next step. If doubt rise, name it and set it at the edge of the room. Do not let it crowd the space. Acknowledge the fear that strength will not return. Offer it a short sentence. I will attend to this later. Then return to the breath and to the picture of lift. This is not avoidance. It is triage. The night is for restoration, not urgent repair. Before I pause, take a final guided breath. Inhale and imagine gathering up what is tired. Hold it for a gentle beat. Exhale and feel the lift beneath your ribs. See wings opening slowly. Let the chest feel lighter. Repeat twice more. I lay the book across my lap. The lamp leans. The room exhales. Let the image of the bird and the rising wind remain like a quiet promise. Strength can come again if the right place and the right posture are chosen. Small practices repeat this truth until it becomes part of the day. When the silence takes the next breath, let it be a place to listen. I will remain here, quiet, and read again when the hour calls. For now, accept this calm as a form of renewal. Rest into it. Let the wings, imagined and inward, hold you a little while. The night keeps its patient air. The heart can learn to rise with it. I lift the Bible gently. The lamp moves nearer, like a small harbor light. The night feels wide and soft. I say a single thing about the psalm I carry in my hand. It tells of a guard that watches steps. It pictures help arranged around a life that moves through shadows. I do not speak the line out loud. I give it shape in quiet words so the ear can rest. Settle deeper now. Feel the bed below you. Notice the weight of the blanket across the legs. Keep one hand where it feels warmth. Breathe in slowly. Let the breath fill the belly like a small bag balloon. Hold for a slow beat. Breathe out and let the shoulders loosen. Repeat once more. Each breath is a soft gate. Each gate opens into rest. Think of protection not as a wall but as a presence. Imagine a circle of light almost at floor level. It is not harsh. It is the color of old lamps. The light does not glare. It simply marks a place where harm does not reach. Step into that circle with the mind. Feel the air change as if someone has closed a window against a storm. Nothing shakes what lies inside. The psalm pictures help sent by God. I paint that picture with quiet strokes. Do not force images. Let them come slow. Picture a pair of hands like old gloves folded on a shelf. The hands are ready. They are not grand. They are practical. They keep watch over small things. This is the kind of guarding the night brings. It is small. It is steady. If images of angels feel strange, imagine caretakers instead. Picture a group of steady people at the edge of the field. They watch the road as a habit. Their eyes catch the first glint of any trouble. Their presence is routine. It becomes a quiet habit of care. Night feels less like empty dark and more like a room with a few watchful friends. Hear the rustle of wings in the mind. The sound is not violent. It is like pages turning slowly. Each turn is a promise that attention remains. If fear presses at the ribs, let the sound move toward those places and breathe with it. Inhale, and the rustle comes closer. Exhale, and it rests softly against the pillow. The sound is a balm. It is not a proof. It is a comfort. I will guide a short exercise now. Keep the hand on the chest. Feel the rise and fall there. Imagine a small knotted rope tied around the wrist. The rope is not tight. It links the heart to the thought of protection. On the in-breath, tug the rope gently toward the heart. On the out-breath, let it lie loose again. Do this 3 times. Each tug is a way of drawing the image nearer. Each release lets the image set. Protection often begins with a boundary. Think of closing a window against a storm. You do not block the whole sky. You simply shut the opening where the rain enters. The circle of care around you works that way. It keeps what harms from crossing the threshold. The world outside continues. Inside, a different air moves. There is a paradox in protection. It does not mean the absence of difficulty. It does mean help in the midst of difficulty. Picture walking a narrow path with held hands. The hands do not remove every stone. They steady the step. The hand lifts at times. It steadies at others. The Psalm's promise is like that hand. It does not erase what must be faced. It arranges safety for the steps. If worry names a particular fear, bring it forward in the mind. Set it on a low table. Look at it without arguing. Name it with a single small word. Then imagine a guard standing by the table. The guard does not snatch the fear away. Instead, the guard keeps the fear from wandering. The fear stays under watch and does not roam the room. This small ritual shifts the shape of the worry from something that prowls to something that rests under supervision. Sometimes protection is quiet preparation, like a roof checked before a storm. Small acts make the night safer. Check the simple things inside your imagination. Is a lamp near? Is a blanket folded within reach? Are shoes by the bedside? These small practicalities are part of the picture. The psalm speaks into them. It moves sacred assurance into plain acts. Trust grows in tiny measures. Start with one small proof. Remember a time when help came in a surprising form. A call that arrived at midnight. A hand that steadied a stumbling step. A presence that stayed while words fell short. Hold that memory like a coin in the palm. Let its weight remind the mind that help has appeared before. I do not ask for a heroic leap into faith. I ask only for a soft leaning. Leaning is a posture that takes less energy, but gains steadiness. Imagine letting the head tilt toward a shoulder that will not leave. The tilt does not guarantee no pain. It offers a steady surface for the head. Rest there now for a few slow breaths. Picture a watchtower at a distance. It stands without rush. A single light moves across the glass. The tower is not a roar. It keeps vigil. The psalm's assurance is like that tower. Help watches without dramatics. It knows the patterns. It waits for the first sign that a path grows dark. Then it shines. You do not need to call for the light. It is already set to move, if you are awake with concern about someone you love. Imagine the guardians lining the path between you, not only at your door, but along any road they might travel. Picture the lamps lit by the roadside. Each lamp is a small mercy. Each one is arranged to answer before trouble arrives. Let that picture fill a few breaths. Inhale and see the lamps glow. Exhale and let the glow rest. Protection often has a rhythm. It is not a one-time shield. It is a habit of watching. Think of a lighthouse pulsing on and off. Each pulse is a check. The light counts out shore the safe points. The psalm's image of guarding angels can feel like that rhythm. It pulses attention. It marks a steady concern that does not tire. Let the body settle more. Unclench the jaw. Soften the brow. Roll the shoulders once. Gently. The muscles hold worry like a grip on a rail. Let go of the rail. Just enough to breathe. Hands can rest open now. Open hands signal that you are not holding danger tight. They are a sign you allow help to come. If sleep comes as the picture forms, that is enough. Sleep is one form of trust. If wakefulness remains, keep the image alive for a while. Picture the guards moving like slow people on a shore. Hear the quiet footfalls. Notice that nothing rushes. All is steady. The mind can practice receiving this steadiness, as if sitting in a room with a calm company. There is safety in name and in action. Give a small name to the sense of guarding in your mind. Call it steadfast light, or quiet watch, or soft hands. Use a short phrase. Repeat it once each time the breath settles. The phrase becomes a small meter of comfort. It does not argue with doubt. It offers a place to rest the thought. If worry tries to press with questions, invite those questions to wait. Tell them gently, hold your place. There will be time to consider in the morning. For now the room is kept. The watchers remain at the gate. This is not avoidance. It is a wise setting of limits, so the night can do what it is made to do, restore. I speak of protection not to inflame fear. I speak to ease it. The reason for a guard is not that danger is always near. It is that help is ready when trouble comes. The image teaches readiness, not paranoia. Keep this boundary in mind. Watchfulness, without panic, invites peace. My voice grows softer now. The lamp leans toward the last ash of flame. The psalm's quiet promise that help is present becomes a small refuge. Take another deep breath. Inhale slowly and fill the belly. Hold briefly. Exhale and imagine a soft band of light circling the room. Feel the band's warmth across the skin. A final small practice before I pause. Place both palms on either side of the rib cage. Breathe and feel the warmth under the hands. Imagine each palm as a gate opening and closing. On the in-breath, the gates open wider. On the out-breath, they settle once more. With each cycle, picture a single guardian stepping nearer until the figure feels close enough to touch. The closeness may be only an image. Let it be enough. When the image rests, do not rush away from it. Let it sit like a small stone on the bedside table. The stone keeps its place. The night does its work. If sleep arrives in the middle of the exercise, lie down into it without guilt. If wakefulness stays, remain with the picture a little longer. I keep my voice low and steady. I will read again when the hour calls. For now, accept this small assurance: steps are watched, paths are tended, and a quiet presence keeps vigil. Let that thought settle into the bones. Let the breath find its calm. Let the hands open. The night keeps you under gentle care. I close the book for a moment and let the silence hold what has been spoken. The pause is not empty. It keeps the promise alive without words. Rest now. When the next part comes, the voice will return to guide again. For the moment, sleep under this steady watch. The hush of the night keeps guard. I lift the book and rest it across my knees. The lamp is low. The night keeps a slow breath. I will speak now about walking through hard places with faith. I hold a plain thought from the scriptures. It says that God works all things together for good. I do not spin that into a tidy answer. I set it down as a small, steady truth to hold while the mind is tired. Walk with me a little. Imagine a long road at dusk. The path is not empty. There are stones and roots. The light thins. Yet the road leads somewhere. I do not promise the road is easy. I promise there is a direction. The old line I hold says that a careful craft stands behind the path. Even the stones fit into a pattern that will, in time, be seen. Struggle looks different at night. It feels large then. Thoughts expand. Regret speaks louder. Fear reaches for the throat. If the heart now carries a heavy thing, set it on the bed beside you like a small sack. Name the weight without drama. Tell it will have a place in this room. The act of naming is a small first step. It makes the burden a thing that can be laid down. Hearing that God works all things together for good can feel too big. It can sound like a promise that pain does not matter. It is not that. It is a promise that even pain can be part of a pattern that bears fruit. Imagine a potter at work. Clay comes in many clumps. The hands press. The wheel turns. The shaping at times looks like pulling apart. Yet the hand intends a vessel. The making includes pressure. The vessel holds water when it is finished. That is the shape of this hope. I ask for a small exercise with the breath. Breathe in slowly. Count to 3 if that helps. Hold for a soft beat. Breathe out slowly. On the next in-breath, gather a single memory that still aches. Do not analyze it. Hold it like a pebble. On the out-breath, place the pebble on the edge of the bed. Let the image rest there. Repeat with one more memory if it wishes to come. 2 pebbles are enough for tonight. This practice is not magic. It is a way to set things down. When pain is constant, the hands tire from carrying. To set something down is to allow the world to hold what our arms cannot. I invite the imagination to place those pebbles into the picture of God's hands without forcing an answer. Let them be placed. And then let my voice return to the slow reading. Faith does not remove doubt. It meets doubt kindly and keeps walking. Picture a companion beside you on the road. The companion is steady. They do not shout reasons. They walk. Sometimes they hold a lantern. Sometimes they simply match your pace and keep a hand near the shoulder. That is the posture of the promise. It stands near the journey, not remote from its pain. When suffering asks why, the night is often the loudest time for the question. I do not try to answer everything. I do something simpler. I offer words that steady. Imaginalum. Threads come in many colors, bright and dull. Thin and thick. The weaver crosses them. Some threads hide under others. The finished cloth shows a pattern none of the single threads could reveal alone. This is the image I place over the troubles. They are threads. They may be ugly in a small part. They help shape the whole. Trust grows in small measures. It does not arrive as a flood. It comes as a slow seep. Practice is the path to trust. Do one small trust tonight. It might be laying down a worry and choosing to wait until morning to act. It might be sending one brief note to a friend rather than holding it in the chest. Each small act teaches the body that the world can hold what we release. I will invite a short ritual to help that learning. Keep the hand where it rests on the blanket. Breathe in slowly. On the out-breath, imagine the breath carrying that pebble you placed. See it roll a little farther down the path. Picture God's hand there, gently nudging the pebble onward. The nudging is soft. It is enough. Repeat 3 times. The image trains the mind in a small way. This teaching about all things working together for good does not minimize loss. Loss hurts. Loss changes the course. But the promise suggests that pain is not the entire story. The story is wider. A seed buried in dark soil does not stop being a seed because it is in the dark. The dark is part of its growth. That figure is one of hope, not an erasure of grief. If anger rises at the thought that there could be meaning in suffering, allow the anger to be present. Do not silence it here. Place it beside the pebbles. Name it with a small, honest phrase in the mind. The room is big enough for anger and hope at the same time. The heart holds more than one feeling. To keep a single feeling alone makes it heavy. Allow the other feelings to enter as well. I will speak of patience as a small strength. Patience does not say that all will be resolved soon. It says that sitting in the dark for a while does not signify failure. Think of seeds again. The ground is patient. It does not count nights. It receives. Patience trains the hands to loosen a tight grip. Let the hands unclench now. Breathe and let them rest open on the covers. There is a difference between passive waiting and active hope. Active hope tends small things. It waters the sprout. It keeps a light near the door. Active hope does not pretend to know the outcome. It makes room for the possibility of good. Tonight, make a tiny act of hope. Place a small item by the bedside that you like. It can be a stone, a scrap of cloth, a leaf. Let it be a token that says there will be things to notice tomorrow. I also invite a practice of naming what can be thanked for, even in the middle of struggle. This is not a list to force gratitude. It is a quiet noticing of small mercies. A cup that arrived warm, a hand that closed a door softly, a minute with the sky. Say one short word of thanks inwardly. That single word does not negate pain. It gives the heart another color to see by. Sometimes the promise about all things working together is best held in story. Think of a broken pane of glass. It is mended and then placed in a window where the light meets it differently. The repaired piece sends a new pattern into a room. The break did not vanish, but the mending redirected light in a way that was not possible before. Such mending does not make the break insignificant. It shows that beauty and usefulness can appear after injury. If trust feels fragile, begin with a small confidence. Choose one thing you can expect tomorrow. It can be the rising of the sun in a grey sky. It can be the sound of a kettle. It can be the presence of a single reliable person in your life. Let that small expectation be a stake you can place in the ground. Stakes do not hold mountains. They hold the tent so you can sleep. That is enough for now. I read tonight as someone who stays awake with you. My words are steady. They do not shout. They do not press. They offer a way to hold the teaching in workmanlike hands. The scripture I paraphrase offers this. The world is not chaotic without meaning. It is woven, it is shaped. That truth does not remove the ache. It gives a perspective where ache is part of a larger fabric. When the mind wants proof, show it small proofs. Remember a time when anger humbled into learning. Remember a failure that taught us skill. Remember a loss that widened compassion. These are not answers to every question. They are reminders that change can bring good forms in time. Hold a single such memory close for a moment. I will lead one more gentle exercise before I pause. Sit or lie still. Keep the hands warm on the blanket. Close the eyes, if that helps. Breathe in and feel the breath come to the center of the chest. Imagine a light there as small as a candle. On the out-breath, send the light outward toward the pebbles you placed. Watch the light, touch each pebble, and warm it. Watch the pebbles become part of a small pile where the light rests. Repeat twice. Let the light be a symbol of care that includes the painful things as well as the pleasant. This is not a promise that every sorrow will be erased. It is a promise that nothing falls outside the possibility of being woven into good. The possibility is not automatic. It often moves slowly. It works through people, through small acts, through changed hearts and patient endurance. The night encourages patience. The night allows the mind to practice small trusts. If sleep comes during these images, let it come without guilt. Rest receives what thought shapes in the dark. If wakefulness remains, keep the pebbles near the edge of the bed. They are tokens. They are not demands. They remind the hands of the work they cannot finish tonight. I will close this section with a simple sentence to hold while the silence deepens. God's care moves through the tangled places of life. It does not remove every thorn before it can be used. It bends the story in ways that are often gentle, sometimes slow, and frequently humble. Rest in that shape for a while. Let the breath slow. Let the hands unclench. Let the small, steady hope sit near the heart as a light that neither rushes nor flees. I lower my voice now. The lamp leans. The book rests. The night keeps the promise with patient steps. When I speak again, I will move gently into the next passage. For now, sleep if you can. If not, stay with the light and the pebbles for a while. I am here to read and to keep quiet company until the dark eases. The lamp leans a little closer. The pages rest like a soft cloth across my palm. I hold an old line close in a gentle way. It asks us to clothe ourselves with compassion and kindness. The language is simple. The image fits the night. Imagine a small wardrobe inside the mind. The door is already open. Inside hang garments of different textures. Each one is for a different moment of the day. Take the time to look. Reach first for compassion. Feel the fabric. It is thick and warm, like a winter wrap. Put it over the shoulders. Let it settle across the chest. Notice the weight. It is not heavy in a harsh way. It is weight that steadies. Breathe as the shoulders accept it. Now find kindness. It is softer, almost thin, like a folded scarf. Drape it across the throat. It warms the words that will be spoken. The scarf muffles sharpness. It teaches the tongue to shape patience. Wear it where the voice will pass. Look next for humility. Its material is plain linen. It hides no ribbon. The garment sits quietly under the others. It keeps the heart from puffing itself up. Slide it on like a gentle undershirt. It fits close to the skin. It reminds the body to lower when pride rises. Let a small scarf of gentleness rest over the hands. The cloth is smooth. It makes the fingers move without scratch, with gentleness. Touch soothes rather than startles. Imagine the hands cupped as if holding a small bird. Each movement is careful. Add patience as a long coat. It buttons slowly. The seams are strong, made for long weather. Patience keeps the limbs from acting as if the answer must come now. It teaches steps that are steady and lasting. Clothe yourself now. Slowly. Do not hurry. Each piece finds its place. Each breath checks the fit. The body learns how to be in these garments. Let the mind watch the small motions of dressing. Let the night absorb them. Compassion feels like a garment because it covers things. It does not fix them at once. It keeps the cold from biting. To clothe is to shelter. Picture someone arriving at your door with wet shoes and tired hands. The first act is to wrap a blanket around the shoulders. That blanket is compassion. It is the beginning of mending. Empathy grows from this covering. It blossoms when a listener steps into the worn shoes of another and notices the pinch in the heel. Imagine sitting beside someone who is tired. Do not name their pain. Do not cut it short. Just sit. Let the garment of compassion lean toward them. The silence between words becomes a shared space. A simple practice helps this happen. Keep a hand on the chest. Breathe in slowly. On the in-breath, imagine gathering a soft thread of warmth from inside. On the out-breath, lay that thread across someone who comes to mind. The motion is small. The image does the work. Repeat it 3 times. Each time the warmth crosses the air like a tiny stitch. Empathy does not require solving. It asks for presence. Standing in the doorway of another's life is enough for the night. A kind look is mercy. A listening ear is shelter. Hands that do not rush to repair can still be the hands that hold. There is also a sacred reciprocity in these garments. The one who gives compassion is often the one who needs it. Imagine the same cloak wrapping you and another at once. The fabric is wide. The 2 bodies share warmth. God's compassion moves through that shared covering. Receiving and giving are parts of the same seam. Self-compassion deserves a place on the hanger too. Many nights are spent with the voice of judgment in the head. Unbutton that threadbare criticism. Fold it away. Replace it with a garment of forgiveness. Simple and soft. Speak a small phrase inside. I am held. Say it once. Let it rest like a cushion under the sternum. Kindness can be practiced with tiny acts. Place a cup of warm water on a low table for someone who cannot rise easily. Fold a blanket and leave it within reach. Send a short, plain message, thinking of you. These acts are small stitches. They change the shape of the day and the night. There is a practical way to try empathy without losing the self. Imagine shoes that belong to someone else. Picture their weight. Picture how the soul might wear. Walk a few steps in those shoes in the mind. Notice how the ankle feels. Let this practice be brief. Do not stay too long in another's pain. Return to your own feet. Learn what their steps teach you. Kindness is not always grand. Often it is small and steady. It is guiding a hand to a chair. It is holding a light while another speaks. The smallness preserves energy and keeps the heart available for more giving tomorrow. Compassion also includes wise boundaries. Clothing someone for the night does not mean inviting every storm into the house. It means offering shelter. If a situation threatens safety, place a firm coat between you and harm. Say no gently when needed. A garment of kindness need not be threadbare at the edges. Strong seams keep everything in place. Breathe with the garments on now. Inhale slowly. Count softly to 3. Feel the linen of humility against the rib cage. Exhale. Let the warmth of compassion rise like steam. Inhale again. Let kindness sit lightly at the throat. Exhale and rest. Remember that God's compassion is often described as a garment too. Picture it woven from many strands: mercy, patience, tenderness. The weave is not perfect in the eyes of the night, but it holds. It reaches down and covers what is cold. Let that picture be like a lamp in the closet. It guides hands that choose garments for others. If someone rises in thought who is hard to love, try a small, quiet step. See them in the weakest light you can imagine. Imagine them wrapped in the garment you wear. Let the idea be simple. Offer a single act of kindness in the mind. The act might be imagined only. That is a start. Compassion often begins with imagination. When self-criticism storms the room, bring out the coat of forgiveness. Speak to yourself in soft, honest sentences. Tell the small truth of the night effort happened today. However small, name one act as good. Let that be enough for now. The night does not demand heroic lists. It asks for honest rest. There is mercy in listening to the body too. If the muscles ache, fold the arms loosely and breathe. If the mind cannot settle, place the hand where it can feel warmth. Small physical ease invites spiritual softness. Wearing these garments is not only a mental act, it is a bodily one. Practice a short imaginary blessing. Picture holding a soft shawl. Wrap it around your shoulders. Speak no loud words. Say only inwardly may you be kept. Picture that same shawl moving outward, laying across someone else. Watch the shawl rest on both of you for a slow breath. Empathy learns by habit. Repetition does not harden feeling. It teaches a muscle. Each night, reach for kindness first. If the morning breaks with sharpness, return to the small scarf of gentleness during the day. These habits form a wardrobe that becomes natural, or a team. Dressing with compassion changes how steps are taken. Do not mistake gentleness for weakness. A soft touch often steadies more than a heavy hand. Practice a gentle way of speaking to yourself in the dark. Ask small questions. What do I need? What might the other person need? How can I offer warmth without taking on the whole burden? If tears come, let them pass through the fabric like rain through wool. The garments are not meant to block every drop. They hold the body steady while the tears fall. Let the shoulders move with a sob. Breathe and feel the cloth breathe with you. When the night deepens, imagine tucking the garments into a safe chest. Leave the doors slightly ajar. The coverings stay ready for morning. They do not vanish. Mercy waits to be worn again. The practice of clothing oneself in compassion does not end with sleep. It waits for the first step of the day. I close the book a little while and let the idea sit. The lamp drops to the low glow. The wardrobe picture rests in the corner of the mind. Wear these garments tonight in imagination. Let them keep the heart like a warm room. Before I go on, take one last breath with the garments in mind. Inhale and feel compassion across the shoulders. Hold the breath a moment. Exhale and let kindness settle at the throat. Lower the hands. Lay the head down lightly. I will stay a little while in the hush. If sleep comes, go without guilt. If wakefulness remains, let the garment sit near the skin like a promise. Compassion is not a thing to prove. It is a way to rest, to meet another, and to be met in return. When the next part begins, the voice will move into another piece of the evening. For now, rest in the clothes of mercy. Let them cover the night and the small ache that woke you. The quiet keeps watch. The garments hold. Trust the slow warmth, and sleep if it wishes to come. I hold the book open on my lap and breathe with it. The page rests like a small boat. Tonight I carry a gentle line from a psalm. It says sorrow passes like night, and joy comes with the morning. I do not treat the line like a slogan. I offer it as a small map for the dark hours. Sorrow is real. It has weight. It presses against the ribs. It keeps sleep from arriving. Tears come without shame. They are honest rain. Rain softens the ground so new things can grow. Saying this aloud is not a quick fix. It is recognition. I read slowly. Each word has room to settle. I do not hurry the meaning. I pause often. The silence between phrases matters as much as the phrases themselves. Silence holds the feeling. It lets it be known. Picture night as a long room. The floor is cool beneath the feet. Windows hold a thin line of light from a distant street lamp. That light says the world still moves. It does not remove the dark. It only promises that darkness is not endless. Imagine a small lamp placed at the head of the bed. It does not blast away the night. It warms a small circle. Within that circle, breathing can change. The lamp is a promise that care exists near you. Hold the image of that lamplight for a few slow breaths. Weep if the heart asks for it. Tears are not failure. They are a kind of honesty. Let them fall. Let the face be wet. Use a soft cloth. Breathe as the chest moves. Each sob is like a small tide that pulls something out of the cave of the body. It empties space so that new quiet may enter. Grief often arrives as questions. Why now? Why this? The night loves questions. Because questions mean the heart pays attention. Do not feel forced to answer them all. Keep them like small stones on a table. Look at them. Turn them gently. Do not throw them into the dark while the mind still needs them to be seen. There is a slow arc in the psalm I read. Night lasts. Morning comes. The promise is not a timetable posted on a wall. It is more like a farmer who trusts the season. The farmer knows frost will not be the last word. Seed buried beneath the cold can still sprout when sun returns. Hold one small memory of joy now. It need not be loud. A single laugh, a hand held once, a song humming in the kitchen. Let that memory be like a pebble in the palm. Feel its smoothness. Let the thumb rub it slowly. The memory does not erase pain. It sits beside it. It keeps the hands company. Breathwork helps the night carry less weight. Inhale slowly for 3 counts. Hold a soft beat. Exhale slowly for 3 counts. Repeat this 3 times. With each exhale, imagine a small, unneeded thing leaving the chest. Breathe in mercy. Breathe out something that can wait until morning. Practice a simple ritual. Place one hand over the heart. Place the other hand on a small item that feels steady as stone. A soft cloth. A ring. Let the rhythm of the breath link the two. On each out-breath, picture sorrow moving into the object. On each in-breath, feel a tiny spark of comfort return. This is a quiet exchange. It trains the hands to let go slowly. Joy does not always appear as a thunderclap. Often, it opens like a window that was stuck, and then is pushed with care. Light slides across the sill. Air comes through. The scent of damp wood. A single bird calls. The shape of joy is sometimes a small, precise thing that arrives after patient waiting. Think of dawn as an old friend who approaches softly. The friend does not burst into the room. They step on tiptoe. They set a cup on the table. They do not demand an answer. They simply bring company. When the morning comes, it may first come as a quiet companion, not a parade. Let the idea of morning be more than a clock. Make it a feeling. Warmth at the spine, a sense that the shoulders can lower, a willingness to try a small thing again. The psalm gives a promise like that. It names renewal in simple human language. Sometimes grief is a long night with many small awakenings. Each awakening carries the same ache. Each awakening asks for gentleness. Create a short phrase to keep by the bedside. A few words that are small and true. Repeat them softly when wakefulness comes. The phrase becomes a tether. It brings the mind back from spinning into a quiet place. If the chest holds a particular loss, offer it a small ceremony. Light a candle in your imagination. Place the memory gently before it. Speak, no lectures. Say one kind thing to the memory. Let the memory rest. That action does not dismiss the pain. It honors it. It also gives the day permission to begin again. Community helps the dark become less lonely. I read these words to many who rest at night. Many rooms hold similar aches. That knowledge can be a gentle consolation. The world is not empty of care. It gathers in small, steady ways. A neighbor's quiet knock, a late message that says I remember you. These are the threads that morning weaves into the night. Allow hope to be small. Hope need not be a grand design. It can be a single wooden chair by a window. The chair is there if needed. Sit in that chair in the imagination. Let the spine rest against its back. Feel that small support under the weight of the body. Hope that simple is strong. Joy often grows not by force, but by habit. Practice noticing one pleasant thing each morning. It may be the way light divides across the floor. It may be butter melting on warm bread. These small notices do not cancel sorrow. They become tiny anchors, while the larger healing moves in time. There is a tenderness in keeping grief and joy near each other. The heart learns to hold both. This is not contradiction. It is capacity. A mother can rock a child and also remember a loss. Both feelings can fit within the same chest. Allow both to be true. If anger appears with the tears, do not make it an enemy. Name it briefly. Let it have a seat. Anger can be a form of care, turned sharp. Attend to it without being consumed by it. Let the anger be a guide that points to what is precious and needs protection. I speak now of a gentle companion in these hours. Christ's presence is like a warm hand at the back of the neck. It does not interrogate. It steadies. It may be helpful to picture that hand if it comforts. The picture is simple. It is not an argument. It is a comfort offered in human terms. Sleep may come slowly. That is all right. Rest that does not startle is still rest. Even a half sleep carries healing. The body and mind rearrange in small ways while the eyes are closed. Trust that the night does its quiet work even when it does not feel dramatic. If wakefulness persists, let the reading be a soft companion. I will keep speaking in a measured pace. My voice is steady. It will not press for answers. It will provide images that soothe. Let the sentences be small steps across the room. Follow them if the legs of attention want to move. Sit with them if the body prefers stillness. Mourning will not always erase the memory of pain. It will, however, change the frame. Light shows edges differently. Sounds take on new color. People appear with coffee. A letter arrives. These small facts often cluster and form a sense of movement toward healing. Let morning be trusted for its ordinary gifts. Tonight, make one simple promise to the self. Promise to notice one small joy at first light. It can be as modest as the sound of water or the color of a mug. The promise is not a burden. It is a kindness. It is a way to give the mind a small door to open. When the sun steps into the room, place the hand again upon the heart. Breathe 3 slow counts. Feel the pulse as an old metronome. Let each beat be a small assurance that life moves forward. Life includes night and morning. Both are part of the course. Both are allowed. Now, imagine the sun as a slow hand pushing the curtains. It does not hurry. It moves little by little. The idea is that joy can enter like that. It does not erase the night quickly. It simply makes room for new things to be noticed. Hold that thought for a few slow breaths. I will pause and allow the words to rest. The silence that follows is not empty. It is part of the process. Let it carry the sorrow and the faint shape of morning together. Keep the lamp of the imagination lit. When sleep arrives, let it take the weight. When wakefulness lingers, sit with the image of the sun, easing the curtains. I will read again in a while. For now, accept this small promise weeping, can last for a night. Joy has a morning. Both are true. Both are held. Rest in that holding. Let the breath find its slow place. Let the heart be gentle with what it carries. The night keeps watch. The morning waits with a soft hand. Shi, accepting God's unfailing love. I bring the Bible close and hold it like a warm stone. Tonight, I sit with a single promise. Nothing can cast that promise away. Nothing can pry it loose. The voice in the page is steady. It says love holds more than we can count. Hear this slowly. Imagine a hand laid on the heart. The hand is calm and sure. It does not press hard. It rests. That rest is the shape of love that will not leave. Count 3 slow breaths with the picture. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Let each breath be a small bell that rings the truth into the chest. There are many fears that come at night. Fear of loss. Fear of failure. Fear that the world is colder than it seems. Place each fear gently on the floor by the bedside. They do not vanish. They sit. Now imagine a soft light passing over them. The light does not argue. It simply warms. That warmth is this unfailing love. It keeps the fears from scattering the room. Love that never separates is not loud. It is not a shout in the dark. It is a slow flame in the center of the house. It holds even when doors slam and when footsteps leave the porch. Imagine that flame tucked into your ribs. It does not flicker at every breeze. It keeps a small, steady heat. I do not ask you to solve hurts tonight. I offer an image to rest in. Think of a harbor with a low wall. Small waves might slap the stones. Boats rock. The wall stays. Love is the wall that keeps the harbor safe. The boats can be heavy. The ropes can be frayed. The harbor still holds them. You are one of those boats. If doubt rise, welcome it without argument. Say in the mind, I notice this doubt. Then return to the hand on the heart. Let the hand be both anchor and answer. Do this a few times. The practice is small. It trains a heavy mind to receive gentler things. There is a tenderness in being cherished. Picture someone gathering both your hands. They do not check the ledger of faults. They only look with a steady gaze and say, "You are mine." The look is deep and quiet. It does not shame. It simply names belonging. Let that belonging be the last thing you hold tonight before sleep. Sometimes the thought of being held can feel foreign. The mind suspects strings attached. If that suspicion speaks, listen to it kindly. Then lay a small rule before it. Not tonight. Tonight I receive. Tonight the heart rests. Keep the rule like a pillow at the door. It keeps harder questions from barging in, while rest is being given. I offer a short exercise. Place the fingertips on the sternum. Press lightly. Breathe in and imagine a soft tide coming up to meet the fingers. Breathe out and picture the tide carrying away something thin, an anxious thought. A short, harsh word said earlier. A worry about tomorrow. Do this 3 times. Each tide leaves the chest lighter by a breath. Love that never parts also waits in the ordinary. It hides in small tasks that continue when the night is long. A neighbor who brings a casserole. a hand that tucks a blanket, a letter kept for a day you can read it. These small continuities are how the promise shows up. They are not less than miracles. They are daily mercies, wearing familiar clothes. If a memory of failing rises and shrinks your throat, do a small, exact thing. Name one small truth about the day that is honest. Not a grand confession. A single stone I called once. I walked a short way. I stayed when it was hard. Let the naming be simple and exact. The love trusts these small facts. It does not require perfection. There is also a rest that comes from being known. Imagine a quiet companion at the edge of your bed who understands the map of your fears and your joys. The companion does not need to verbalize solutions. Their presence is a simple fact. They are there. That fact steadies the ribs. Let it become a small place to breathe into. Accepting love is a handing over, not an erasing. Hand your tiredness forward like a parcel. Place it into the imagined hands of that companion. They take it with care. They do not scold for the weight it bears. They only hold it. And thus, it becomes shared. Feel the shoulders lower with that sharing. The promise that nothing separates is generous. It does not say nothing hard will come. It says whatever we meet, love goes there with us. Imagine walking under a wide sky with a companion who moves at the same pace. The road can be sharp. The companion's shoulder is steady. That steadiness is the quiet of tonight's promise. Endurance grows in small measures. Repeat a short line in the mind, I am loved. Say it without flourish. Let it be like turning a key. The key does not force open a heavy lock. It simply turns. The door is already unlocked. The line helps the hands remember to open the latch and to rest inside. Do not rush the acceptance. Move slowly. If the heart clings to control, let the fingers relax a little. Practice being allowed to rest in a truth that is larger than anger, larger than doubt. Let the acceptance be your work for tonight. It does not demand a certificate. It only asks a quiet willingness to receive. When you are ready, imagine the hands at your chest slowly withdrawing, leaving a warm imprint. The imprint is not empty. It is a reassurance left on the skin. Carry it for a few breaths. Allow the skin to remember warmth in the quiet Sha'ah, surrendering to peace. I close the Bible gently and hold the room with a soft voice. Surrender here is not a giving up. It is a careful laying down. It is the art of setting burdens in a place that will watch them until morning. The night is not merely a space for fatigue. It can be a crucible where tightness loosens and the soul learns to breathe differently. Begin with breath. Draw it in slowly. Count to 3. Hold for a small beat. Let it go. With each out-breath, imagine a place in the body that is allowed to uncoil. The shoulders, the jaw, the space between the shoulders. Let that place soften. Surrender is a practice just like breathing. Do it in slow steps. Make a small ritual. Cover the hands with the blanket and leave the thumbs visible. The thumbs are small beacons. They signal that some hold remains. Covering the hands does not mean abandoning the day. It means choosing rest intentionally. The thumbs keep a tiny line between wakefulness and sleep. They are a gentle tether. Allow the mind to list. With mercy. Only 3 things that must be done tomorrow. No more. Keep the list small and plain. Fold it inward like a note. Place it on the bedside table. The act of listing moves tasks from the chest to paper. It frees the mind from rehearsing them all night. Surrendering also holds the gift of silence. Let the ears drink the hush of the room. Notice sounds without anger. A distant cœur, the faint clink of a house settling, the low breathing of another. Each sound is a small assurance that life continues. Silence is not absence. It is a kind of presence that does not press. If the body resists, sleep. Offer it a movement of gentleness. Stretch the arms long, and then let them curl back into the blanket. Roll the ankles slowly. Ease the neck side to side. These little loosening motions are prayers for the tight muscles. The body listens to such small kindnesses. Trust the steadiness beneath the noise. Imagine a slow, deep river under the surface of the day. Above it, waves toss and chatter. Below, water moves with patient direction. Rest locates itself into that deeper current. It knows how to carry the load without hurriedness. A short image helps with surrender. Picture a small boat drawn into a cove. The anchor lowers not with panic but with intention. The boat settles into the water and feels the rocking lesson. You are that boat. Let the anchor be the hand of your faith. Or the simple decision to sleep. Either works. The cove keeps you. Self-compassion is a part of this surrender. If the inner critic shouts about wasted hours or missed chances, respond with a one-line nourishment. Tonight I will be kind. Say it once, and let the critic stand down. Do not argue. Kindness does not need to defeat the critic. It only needs to outstretch a warmer hand. Set a small boundary. If worry sounds like it must be fixed now, set a firm but gentle rule. Morning will handle this. The mind can visit the thought for 3 breaths and then return to rest. This rule trains the mind to defer urgent thinking until a time equipped to act. Surrendering asks for a companion in imagination. Picture a steady presence beside the bed, like a lamp left on. It is not intense. It is a small glow that seems to understand the shape of your sleep. Let that imagined light be enough to comfort restless thoughts. It keeps watch without fuss. Mercy is part of surrender. Offer yourself the simple line, I do not have to be whole tonight. This does not excuse harm. It gives a map for healing that moves slowly. Being allowed to be unwhole is a doorway to gentler mornings. If sadness keeps a tight hold, practice a brief exchange. Breathe in and name the sadness in a single word. Breathe out and offer it a small, imagined bowl of warm water. Watch the sadness soften at the edges. This is not erasing. It is attending. Attend with care. Surrender is also choosing a posture for the night. Let the limbs fall into the mattress with trust. Let the chin tilt slightly so the neck relaxes. Keep the palms open. Open hands mean you are not clenching the night with worry. If sleep comes slowly, stay present with the smallest comforts. The feel of the blanket, the steady rhythm of breath, the knowledge that the love you accepted earlier still holds. These simple facts can become the last things the mind hears before rest. Before you let the eyes go fully, set a gentle intention for morning, not a long to-do list. A single phrase will do. I will begin with mercy. Let the phrase be a beacon. Not a demand. It will be enough to guide the first waking moments. I sit with the light dimmed now. My voice slows. I do not urge you. I only keep the room with you a little longer. Stay as long as you need. When surrender comes, accept it without guilt. If it does not, remain with the breath and the images. They will keep company until dawn eases the sky. The book rests. The room listens. The promise of love and the choice to surrender meet like two hands that come to hold a fragile thing. Let them hold you now. Let peace settle in the hollow of your chest. Sleep when it chooses. I will be here if the voice is needed again. The night keeps its careful watch. The heart is not alone. I lift the book again. The lamp leans like a small harbor light. Tonight I stay near a simple teaching. It asks that we bring our worries in prayer. It asks that we do so with thanksgiving. The promise that follows is quiet and fierce. Peace will come that the mind cannot fully explain. The peace will keep watch over the heart. Settle in. Let the body find a shape that feels held. One hand may rest on the chest. The other may lie open on the blanket. I speak slowly. My voice matches the room. Breathe with me as if we are turning an old key together. Start with a breath. Inhale for 3. Hold for 1 soft count. Exhale for 3. Do this twice more. Each breath is a small footstep towards stillness. The lungs know the movements, even when the mind wanders. Let the rhythm be steady and unhurried. Now place a worry into the mind. Not a least. One worry at a time. Give it a name. Plain and small. Say it quietly in your head. Do not explain. Do not fight. Name it as if placing a pebble on the bedside table. Picture an envelope on that table. The envelope is plain. Write nothing on it. Instead, imagine slipping the named pebble into the flap. Close the envelope with the gentlest finger. Imagine folding it over so the worry is contained. Prayer is the act of handing that envelope forward. It is not a loud demand. It is a small offering placed into another's hands. Picture yourself standing and extending that envelope to a steady presence. The presence does not pry or scold. It receives without hurry. The instruction I speak from the page asks for 2 things when you hand the envelope over. One is to tell what you need. Speak the need plainly, like giving directions. The other is to say thank you for what is already true. Thankfulness is not pretending everything is fine. It is noticing what has stayed steady and offering it as an anchor. If saying words feels hard, offer the envelope silently. Let the act of offering be the prayer. The body knows how to give. The mind will follow when it is ready. Do this now. Lift the imaginary envelope. Hold it a breath and release it into the steady hands. When you release, imagine a light descending into the chest. It is not a flashy beam. It is a soft glow that fills the hollow places. The glow is the kind of peace that does not make every question go away. It simply keeps the heart safe while the questions remain. This peace does a quiet job. It sits at the gates of the mind. It does not fight every disruptive thought. It stands like a gentle sentinel at the doorway. When anxious thoughts knock late in the night, the sentinel opens the door, only a crack. The thoughts may speak. They may still pass, but the guard keeps their power small. If the mind demands reasons for peace, let it wait kindly. Peace does not always come with explanations. It comes with presence. It enters the room like a slow tide. The tide lifts the small boat of the heart, and the boat rides higher without knowing every deep current. Trust the lifting even when you cannot map the sea. I lead a short exercise to practice this handing. Keep the envelope in mind. Breathe in and name one worry. Breathe out and picture placing the envelope into the hands that wait. Breathe in and name a small thing to be thankful for. Breathe out and whisper the thank you into the same hands. Do this 3 times. Let each repetition make the palms feel lighter. Sometimes the heart resists handing things over. It clings to worry like a small animal seeking shelter. If that happens, be gentle. Tell the animal you see it. Tell it you will care for it later. Then fold it into the envelope and place it into the other hands. You do not abandon the worry. You enter it into a process that includes rest. Prayer is not a vending machine. It is not a list of steps that guarantee immediate outcomes. It is a relational habit. The act of bringing needs and thanksgivings nightly trains the hands to unclench overtime. The muscles around the heart relax. That is the work of peace that surpasses the mind's need for immediate sense. Imagine the presence who receives the envelope sitting at a low lamp. It looks at the concern with steady eyes. The look does not demand a full report. It simply holds the weight and says, I see you. Let that simple reception be enough for the night. Let it be the warmth your hands carry into sleep. I often advise folding one small act of trust into this routine. Before you hand the envelope, place one tiny thing into it besides the worry. It can be a small hope, a named portion, a single task you cannot finish tonight. The presence receives each thing together. The mix, worry, and hope is not contradictory. It is honest. The peace that comes is active. It guards the thoughts as a watchman guards a gate. The promise is that it keeps the heart and mind. It is not a passive niceness. It is a fortifying quiet that lets the muscles of worry rest. Imagine the heart like a room with a lock. Peace is the lock's keeper. It does not break the door. It keeps it steady. If the night brings urgent anxieties that jolt the body, use a physical anchor as you pray. Place a hand over the sternum. Feel the rib cage rise and fall. Let the hand be the place where you lay the envelope down before you release it. The touch links flesh to prayer. It reminds the brain that the body is not alone in its fear. Gratitude in prayer has a practical function. It shifts the focus from what is missing to what remains. Thankfulness does not wipe sorrow. It refuses to let sorrow rule the entire field of sight. It creates room for peace to rest beside grief. When you thank, even for small things, you make space for peace to grow there. I speak gently about the guard who watches. Imagine that guard humming a soft tune as it keeps its post. The tune does not erase the night. It steadies the steps of the heart. Let that hum become a background for your breathing. Humming in the mind softens the sharp edges of fear. If you cannot sleep after a long practice, do not consider the night a failure. The act of offering is still a prayer. The hands that receive are at work whether you rest immediately or not. The peace that defends is working quietly in ways your mind cannot always see. Be patient with yourself. Keep returning to the small ritual. There are nights when doubts about prayer itself surface. If the mind asks whether prayer really matters, answer softly the habit does. It arranges the hands to give and the heart to receive. Or a team. The habit brings a gratitude that is not forced and a trust that is not blind. The question may remain, but the heart learns to rest in the presence of the question rather than be driven by it. I encourage creating a small physical reminder of this practice. A folded cloth, a pebble, a ring placed on the bedside table can help. When worry comes, touch the object. Let it recall the envelope and the hands. The object is a tether. It links the moment of anxiety to the practice of offering. Now breathe with me once more. Inhale and gather what presses the most. Hold lightly. Exhale and release into the hands that wait. Breathe in and name one small thing to be thankful for. Breathe out and let the gratefulness rest in the same hands. Repeat slowly until the breath and the mind find a softer pace. As you practice, notice how the chest feels. The muscles around the ribs may relax. The jaw may soften. The shoulders may lower by tiny degrees. These small shifts are signals. They are the language of peace, moving into the body. Trust them, even when thoughts remain noisy. The promise I read tonight ends with a safeguarding. It speaks of peace that keeps watch over the thoughts and the heart. It is a guarding that carries the sense of a quiet fortress, not a cold prison. The guard's task is tenderness. The guard knows how to hold things without crushing them. I will sit with this thought for a while. If sleep comes, let the offering rest in the hands of the steady presence. If wakefulness continues, return to the envelope, the hands, the thank you. Keep the practice slow and simple. Prayer in the night is not about clever phrases. It is about an act of handing over and receiving peace. When you are ready, tuck the hands beneath the blanket, or let them stay visible on the chest. Let the thumbs rest as small beacons between wakefulness and sleep. Keep a single, soft intention for morning to begin again, with one small, thankful thought. That small intention is a bridge from this moment to a new day. I will remain here, holding the lamp with a steady gaze. The book closes like a quiet hand. The promise of peace is given again for the night. Trust it to guard your heart. Trust it to keep the mind sleep. When it chooses, will find the chest more open. If it does not, continue to hand things over in the slow way we practiced. I will read the last part when the time comes. For now, rest in the guarded hush. Shazan, a gentle closing blessing. I settle the book across my knees one last time. The lamp is low. The room breathes with a slow, steady rhythm. I have read beside you all evening. Now I offer a short, quiet blessing to take with the night. Make the body comfortable. Adjust the blanket if it helps. Let the face relax. Let the jaw soften. Breathe in slowly. Count to 3. Hold for a breath. Exhale and feel the shoulders release. Do that again. Each breath is an invitation to rest. Imagine a small garden at twilight. A gate is open. Paths are soft with earth. Flowers nod slowly in the cooling air. They do not demand anything. They simply hold their color. Even in low light, walk into that garden in the mind. Move without hurry. Notice how the soil gives beneath the feet. Feel the ease of slowing down. Tonight's blessing is simple. It asks for peace to fill the places that ache. It asks for calm to settle into the busy corners of thought. It asks that a gentle quiet sink into the chest and stay there while sleep comes. I do not promise to fix every worry. I only promise to ask for rest to be given. Place a hand lightly over the chest if that feels natural. Feel the small rise and fall beneath the palm. Let that rhythm be the anchor. On each out-breath, imagine a soft color spreading under the hand. Choose a color that feels safe. Let it grow slowly, like ink on linen, until the warmth reaches the shoulders and then the arms. Hold that image for a breath or two. I speak a prayer now. It is not a long speech. It is a quiet offering said plainly. Creator, gentle keeper of the night. Draunir. Let peace fall like a cool evening over restless minds. Calm the rush of questions. Quiet the lists that press at the temples. Grant a place of rest for those who are tired. A gentle easing for those who are anxious. And a soft shelter for those who grieve. Keep a steady watch. Let love be felt where fear sits. Amen. After that prayer, stay with the silence for a moment. Let it collect around the words like a warm shawl. Silence here is not empty. It is a kind of listening that holds what the voice has asked for. Let the ears notice the hush that follows the final line. Let the chest practice a slow return to even breathing. Now imagine a small room of the heart. It is tidy and safe. In one corner sits a small bowl of warm water. In another corner, a simple lamp. Place any sharp thoughts into the bowl for a moment. Watch them float and soften at the edge. They will be there in the morning if needed. For now, they may rest in the water. The lamp will not go out. It will keep a patient light, just enough to make the room feel kind. If someone you love is on your mind, picture them in that garden I named earlier. See them sitting on a low bench. They are not alone. A calm presence sits beside them. Do not try to solve their needs right now. Leave a simple warmth for them in the imagination. This small kindness travels farther than spoken help sometimes. Let the thought of care be almost ordinary. Think of a kitchen that stays warm all night because someone has left a small stove burning low. The flame is not bright. It is steady. It keeps the air safe. The blessing I ask for tonight is like that slow stove. It neither dazzles nor demands. It simply maintains a quiet heat that prevents cold from taking hold. Take another slow breath. On the in-breath, Gather a single name or a single worry. On the out-breath, release it into the shape of the prayer. Imagine the worry placed gently on a shelf. It is seen. It is not left to orbit the mind all night. This is an act of trust, not blind faith. It is a small decision to let the burden be carried while rest does its work. If tears come, accept them. Tears are a form of kindness to the self. They move what is stuck and allow something soft to follow. Use a cloth if needed. Breathe without shame. Allow the body to speak in the only way it sometimes can. I offer a short blessing over the mind. May the thoughts be made gentle. May the mind find a single, calm rhythm. May chaotic images loosen their hold. May memory be softened and made manageable. May tomorrow's tasks keep their place on paper and not dominate the night. Now a blessing for the heart. May the heart be steady. May it feel less acute in its ache. May compassion toward others remain, but not at the cost of your own peace. May small mercies find room to rest inside the ribs. May forgiveness for self or for others come as a quiet gift when it is ready. And a blessing for the body. May the muscles let go. May sleep come without guilt. May the nervous system find tempo again. May the breath lengthen in the night. May the bones be kept warm and the limbs find a posture that asks no more work. I close with a short reflection on presence. Presence matters more than perfect answers. Being held by a steady care is often the first step toward healing. You may not feel change tonight. That is all right. Rest does its own slow work. Seeds that have been quiet will sometimes show their first green in the morning, simply because the earth had a chance to stretch and the light returned. If worry rises in the dark, return to one small gesture. Press the fingertips together. Hold them lightly. Count 3 gentle breaths. Use a single phrase inside the mind, such as keep me. The phrase is a tether, not a test. Use it again when it helps. Let it be a short prayer that can be murmured without strain. For those who fear forgetting the act of blessing or prayer, keep a simple object nearby, a small stone, a ring, or a scrap of cloth will do. Touch it before sleep. Let the touch recall the prayer you have heard. The object is a reminder that the night is not a place of abandonment, but a place where care can be accepted. I will say a final prayer now. It is brief and steady. Loving presence. Be close. Tend the breath. Soothe the mind. Hold the heart with gentle hands. Keep watch through the dark. Meet every waking worry with the same calm you give now. Let rest come as a gift. Let dreams be soft. Let the morning bring a slow return of courage. Keep us in your care until dawn. Amen. Rest if sleep comes. If it arrives in the middle of a sentence, that is welcome. No requirement exists to hear every word. Rest is not a contest. It is a mercy given and received. If wakefulness stays for a while, remain with the images a little longer. Walk again in the quiet garden. Notice the lamp at the bedside. Let the small stove's warmth be a companion. Keep the hand on the chest or the object at the bedside to remind yourself of the prayer. When morning arrives, there will be time for work, for questions, and for the sharper judgments of the day. For now, let the night do what it knows how to do. Let peace take its place by the pillow. Let love that does not leave fold close around the ribs. Let the simple trust that began when you placed one small worry in the imagined hands continue its journey. I stand and let the book close like a soft lid. The lamp blinks low. My voice rests. I will be here again to read, to hold the quiet, to offer a steady cadence for nights that want company. For now, receive this blessing. Let it be small and true. Sleep, when it chooses, in the knowledge that you are kept